Carolina's Best and Most Country with DeanO, and there's a little heat just walked into the room. Our special guest, Tammie Davis, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
We're glad. We were just talking. She lives in Clemens now. Did you grow up in Winston-Salem in that area?
I grew up in Lincolnton.
In Lincolnton. All right. Yeah. All right. And then we'll just get right to the history because you were in the Marine Corps for 5 years, you said.
Yes, I was a United States Marine.
All right. Did you just want to be a better you? What persuaded you to join the Marine Corps?
No, I was just looking for a few good men.
You were
Yeah.
All right. Did you find any?
Oh, tons of them.
Well, around here, we think there's a lot more good men in the Army than
In the Army?
Yeah.
Well, I can't say anything bad about the Army because my dad was in the Army.
Yeah, and we're right down the street.
Yeah.
Is there a little rivalry still between the Marines
Yeah, you know what
and the Army?
For, right?
No, go ahead.
Oh. You didn't be a Marine yet.
Oh, well, maybe they won't come and see you at the Rockville County Fair on October 1st.
I love the Army.
Tammie Davis is in our studio, and Tammie has a song that's called "Tall, Dark, and Lonesome," which we're going to play in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And you've been out traveling all around the country, telling people about your new record and about and you write. Did you write this one, or you do write though?
I do write. There's songs on my album that I wrote. Yeah, I'm very, very, very glad that they're on there. But this particular song was written by 3 guys in Nashville, great songwriters: Chip Davis, Billy Davis, and Douglas Graham. Chip Davis is a contemporary Christian artist.
Oh, okay.
Fabulous singer. But I was in the Bluebird Cafe one night, and I had already met his brother. He had been at one of my sessions in the studio. And Chip sang a song at a songwriter's round called "God Save Us from Religion."
Okay, that's
and
interesting.
You got to hear the song, but anyway, it brought tears to my eyes, and I chased him out in the parking lot, and we was out there for about 20 minutes, and I told him I needed some material to finish up my CD, and this was one of about 20 songs that he had sent me on a CD, and as soon as we heard the song, we knew it had to go on the album.
Oh, wow.
It's country.
It's country. It's good stuff we were talking about. And I'm going to play it for you in a few minutes, but we're talking with Tammie Davis, and you brought some guys with you. We're gonna have you play a song, too, if that's all right, here in just
awesome,
a minute.
Yeah.
How does a girl from North Carolina, I'm always interested on how you get to the point where you put an album together, you put it out there, you try to get people to play it, and that kind of thing. How do you get to that point? Obviously you grew up singing, always wanted to sing.
I did. Actually, I didn't even really know that I could sing. I sort of liked to sing, but I didn't really know that I was decent at it until I was in the Marine Corps. The generals have a get-together every year at Quantico. They play golf, which is something I think you like to do.
I do.
Yeah, and they play golf, and then they have a barbecue after the golf tournament. And they wanted us to have a little country band there for the generals to enjoy. And we put that together at Quantico, and I was hooked. I started singing.
So you hadn't thought about it at all until then?
No, not really.
Really?
And
wow.
So after that, I thought, well, if I'm going to do the singing thing, I need to go get some vocal lessons. So I did that. I hunted down a lady in Northern Virginia and started vocal lessons, and really took it really seriously. I mean, I was rehearsing, 3 and 4 hours a day, waiting tables at night, just doing the whole thing, and ran into somebody at a bar one night, and she said, "Hey, you sound pretty good," because I was up singing karaoke, and she said, "You ever thought about being in a band?" I said, "Sure." And so she took me to band rehearsal with her that Friday night, and I ended up being with that band for quite some time. It's called Crossroads. They were all up and down the East Coast for years. But those guys were great. And then after that, life sort of happened, and I quit singing for a while. And I was working a corporate job, being a single mom, and decided to get on an internet dating service, which we won't talk about. But,
it's the WKML Dateline.
But I'm telling you, if you're out there and you're wondering about internet dating, it works. It really works. You just kind of have to read between the lines.
888-840-9570?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to read between the lines, and you have to really kind of be cautious and talk to people and get to know them. But I'm telling you, meeting this guy absolutely changed my life. 2 weeks after I met him, he heard me sing and said, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time working at a corporate job when you could be doing this?" And I said, "Well, everybody out there wants to be a singer. Why would they want to hear me?" And he said, you got to change your way of thinking. And
Exactly.
over a period of about a year, he did that. Started a band, and you know, I decided to take it seriously. We knew, and I told him, I said, it's either all or nothing. I'm not. This is not a weekend thing.
Right.
You know, we're not going to do this as a hobby. This is all or nothing, and that's what we did. And I can't begin to tell you the miracles that started to happen after that, and things started falling into place, and people started falling in my path. I had no idea where they came from, and it's unbelievable the things that, and how we finished the album. I can't even tell you because I don't know. I mean, it's just when you push forward and you really, really think hard about what you want to do, and you work hard at it, things just sort of happen, and that's kind of where
You went right after it, though. That's good for you.
I know. I can't even really tell you how it happened because it's just hard work.
Well, let's hear you sing. How's that?
Awesome.
Let's play a song. Tammie Davis in studio with us. We're going to play her new song, "Tall, Dark, and Lonesome," in just a minute. But right now, you guys are going to play one in studio
Yeah, we're
for us.
we're gonna do a song on the album. It's about two girlfriends, and one of them's kind of whiny, and the other one doesn't like her whininess, and so she's singing about it, and it's called Pity Party.
Okay. So there we go.
I've been sitting here listening to you babble on. Just like a broken record, you keep on going on and on and on. It's the same old story every time. I play the world's smallest fiddle while you pour the wine. I open the umbrella in my drink while you pretend to cry. I don't wanna be a part of your pity party. I'm the first one invited every time it gets started. You act like you're the star of America's most broken-hearted. If you could walk a mile in my high-heeled shoes, you might understand what a real woman goes through. I don't wanna be a part of your pity party anymore. I watched you go through me like underwear. You sport a different one every day, pair after pair after pair after pair. You got a good man waiting at the house. I'm headed down to here. We can look at glass. I had a powder wish there'd be a zipper on your mouth. I don't wanna be a part of your pity party. I'm the first one invited every time it gets started. You act like you're the star of America's most broken-hearted. If you could walk a mile in my high-heeled shoes, you might understand what a real woman goes through. I don't wanna be a part of your pity party anymore. I don't wanna be a part of your pity party. I'm the first one invited every time it gets started. You act like you're the star of America's most broken-hearted. If you could walk a mile in my high-heeled shoes, you might understand what a real woman goes through. I don't wanna be a part of your pity party anymore. No, I don't wanna be a part of your pity party anymore.
That's Tammie Davis on the big 95.7 WKML. All right. Yeah, tell it like it is.
Yeah, that's a great song, and Greg Perkins and Monty Holmes wrote that song, and they said they laughed the entire time they were writing it.
Now, I didn't tell you before when we were talking, Monty Holmes is actually, we have our songwriter show coming up in about 3 weeks.
And he's gonna
Monty,
be here.
No, he has been here before.
Okay.
Monty Holmes has been here before.
Yeah.
And Greg Perkins, you were telling me before, is the son of Carl Perkins, that everybody knows wrote
Yes.
Blue Suede Shoes. So a
Yep.
nice little heritage there as well.
Monty wrote Troubadour with Leslie
Yes.
Satcher for George Strait.
Yep, wrote it right before he was here.
Mhm.
That came out right before he was here. He's a good guy, too.
He's a
Good
great guy.
He's a great guy. It has part of this process being in Nashville and being around the songwriters and picking things up from those guys that are so good at what they do.
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't been fortunate enough to spend a whole lot of time in Nashville because I live in North Carolina and I haven't made the jump to move.
Mm-hmm.
But I do spend a lot of time there recording, and I've been around the session players and songwriters there, and you do pick up a lot of stuff from them. I will tell you, I was blessed early on. I was introduced to a guy by the name of Tim Sidden, who is a Nashville producer. He played in the Carolina Opry in South Carolina for 14 years. Fabulous piano player, musician, songwriter, producer, arranger, does it all. And I was able to hook up with him early enough to get taught some of the things that I needed to know early on to sort of kind of, pave my way, because so many artists, they get people giving them bad advice or, telling them to move into a direction that's totally spinning their wheels. And so one of the things he told me was about the album was, Tammie, spend the time on the album. Make sure it's right and make sure it's quality. And that was some of the best advice I've ever gotten. And that's what we did. It took us 2 years to do the album.
Tammie Davis is in studio with us, and people sometimes wonder why it takes 2 years to do an album. Why you go back and recut. How many times during that 2 years did you throw something out and say, hey, this is a little better, we're going to find this song, we're going to put this in?
It's mostly about the mixing and the instrumentation.
Is it?
I mean, you can mix out or mix in, because they lay down so many different tracks that there's so many things you can do to change it up. And sometimes you have to go back and maybe recut a vocal or something like that. But it's just the process by which you're putting the music together and making it sound the way that you feel like it needs to, either for radio or however you want the song to sound. It just takes so much time.
Is it hard to find the songs that you love that much that you want to be on that album?
It is. It's hard to find good songs. There's a lot of and the great songwriters out there. Of course, they have their publishing companies, and they have what they call song floaters. And when they find a song they call a song, then they hide it. Nobody can have it. It's like they hide it away and under a stone somewhere.
Oh, no, Carrie Underwood can have it.
Carrie Underwood. That's what I'm talking about. Unless you're George Strait, Carrie Underwood.